Hello everyone, we are back and here to react to RWBY Vol.9 Chapter 8. So last episode, RWBY snapped. She's finally... You know, okay, it's so weird.
Jean too.
Yes, Jean broke, Jean arguably was already snapping.
Yeah,
well, I mean, RWBY was already snapping too, but I feel like both of them just finally broke at the...
I think RWBY's was like a...
Yeah.
And Jean's was like a...
Jean's was, 20 years in the making. RWBY's was a week in the making. Was a bad weekend. Which is, again, it's so funny. You think about it, Volume 7 was a week ago.
And 20 years ago.
Yeah, Volume 7, like Penny becoming a maiden, that was all not even a week ago. RWBY has nobody. Jean would have been somebody, but Jean also isn't like... Jean, you could argue, had stability for a long time, and then his friends finally showed up and ruined everything. He finally, he had everything all sorted. He's like, finally, I have friends who can help me. No, my friends are not going to help me. They're going to, in fact, ruin everything that I've worked so hard to keep. And I gotta say, it's funny that Jean fought so hard for this, but what was his plan when he left? They were going to do this anyway once he was gone. It's like, what did he think?
I think...
Did he plan to stay?
I think this is a perfect example of Jean, of him. He doesn't think those things through to that point.
Yeah.
He's just trying to do this thing in the now, and he doesn't think about the consequences necessarily later. He's trying, when you actually look at the earlier volumes, every time he, loses it or goes after something, he does something right then, right now, and it kind of comes back as a problem.
Yeah.
And he hasn't faced that enough, and now he's finally had to face it to where he's spent years doing this, but never really thought about
the aftermath,
what they wanted, anything like that. He was striving for the thing he felt in that moment. Now
the thing to keep him. It was a very selfish. It was more selfish than it was selfless.
What was it? It was kind of like when he turned on Pyrrha for that in Volume 1 or whatnot.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't want to be the damsel in distress, he wanted to be the hero. It's this whole thing is that pulled in the entire phrase pulled into this one thing. Was so desperate to be their hero, he didn't realize what he was actually doing.
If anything, destroying Penny, regressed him because after everything he worked so hard to get over to that point in Volume 8. Suddenly all of this happens to him, and he's now regressed almost, not entirely back, he's older and bitter, but he's regressed almost back to his earlier days.
He tried to be the hero.
His earlier ideals.
Everything went bad. He's trying to force the hero on in this world, and even, like he said, he can't even be the hero in the fairy tale, which is,
but
that's rough.
But here's another, so on RWBY's end of things, I've noticed something I was thinking about, RWBY again is alone, and she doesn't really have anybody to, she doesn't have, in a weird way, this is the thing,
she's kind of become estranged from her friends a little bit.
Well, yeah, but that's the other thing, RWBY doesn't, in a way, it's okay, there's always people that are going to be looking out for each other, and right now, again, Yang, is her sister, Yang also has her own life and is now, pursuing different things. And RWBY...
Oh, my friends are here now. Goodbye, bye!
Yeah. But you never see them again.
They died at Beacon.
But...
They were just shadows of their former selves.
It's one of those things where it's RWBY doesn't have someone to focus on her. She doesn't have her own rock, shall we say. She doesn't have somebody to stabilize her. And that person probably would have been Penny. Because Penny was basically RWBY's friend. RWBY's best friend. RWBY's one person that she could confide in, or could confide in her, or something that's the thing. RWBY, I noticed something else. RWBY has never, shown romantic feelings. She's never had a romantic expression. Weiss has always shown romantic expressions, and Yang and Blake have shown romantic expressions throughout the volume, but RWBY has never shown an expression of romantic feelings for anything except weapons, and arguably Penny was that weapon. But and the only other person I could say that RWBY has maybe an interest in is Oscar. But again, we don't have Oscar. But my point is basically like this is kind of something I was like RWBY is maybe blind to romance because I don't think she's noticed. She's never paid attention like when Weiss was looking after Neptune, when Pyrrha and Jean like were when Pyrrha was looking looking after Jean, or when Yang and Blake were looking after each other. Like RWBY's always been ignorant of romance around her. If you think about it, it's never been her focus. So
she's very much focused on
yeah, and but
I do feel like her situation here has less to do with romance stuff.
I know it's not it's just I'm pointing out like another thing that she's been ignored, like she's ignored or she's not paid attention to, and it's like now it's probably like when she saw Blake and Yang get together, it caught her off guard, and it's like, and again like when she gets mad at them, she's just like, how can you be happy in this terrible situation that we're in? And it wasn't a attack, it was more of just a why? Why now? Why not earlier? Why not like why at this particular moment when I am feeling terrible? Like it was a very outburst moment where she was just lashing out. And I think the words were harsh, lashing, and venomous. Yeah, were the words I think would describe her spitting of anger. And another thing is like their reactions to like RWBY's blow up was a surprise to them because they have again never seen RWBY act like this before. And another thing, like Blake and Weiss, both of them come from abusive pasts to where like their reaction, like it probably like lightly triggered some past mesmerism. Not that RWBY was going to do anything, but just yelling or getting angry can like reawaken something inside you, and especially again RWBY never doing this before, especially to her friends like this, never acting like this to any of them before. When you see somebody nice and then they turn into something that you've never seen before, it stuns you. It does not. You are not prepared for that. You do not know how to act.
I do like that Jean was the one primarily to go back at her for everything she said, just because of the fact he's probably had this in the back of his mind for years after everything that happened. The fact that when you think about it, if this is like, her plan led to all this and led to him killing Penny, even if he wasn't fully conscious of it, it's always been in his mind for all these years as he's tried to keep everything together.
Yeah, there's been a lot that's been happening, and now RWBY's on her own. The others, I hope we get to see how the others react to this situation. Alright, so, are you ready? Let's begin.
RWBY? What are you doing? Why did you shout at everyone like that? Where am I? It's okay. I can guide us back. You shouldn't run off, though. You all need to stick together if you want to go home.
She's dodging the question.
Why are you still here? What? I promised. I promised to serve Atlas as a huntress. That I'd keep people safe. That I'd be there for my friends. But we can go back and... No! You don't know what I've done. What I couldn't do. I can't do this. I could never do this. If you stay with me, you're going to end up dead too. Just go home. But you're... I said go!
Dang, she's really angry. Oh.
What is this?
Hello, Red. Been a while. How's the hero biz treating you? I gotta say, I'm not looking too good.
Where's Neo?
Yeesh, no manners. And after everyone came out to see you!
No!
Salutations!
Oh, that is evil!
Again?
Miss Rose. Why don't you take a seat?
Oh, you!
How is she doing this? Stop it! This isn't real!
Isn't real. You're the one following a talking cat around a fairy tale. Reality's getting fuzzier by the minute, kid. You know, once Neo realized where she was, everything changed. Always loved the idea of a place to run away from it all. Do whatever you want.
Her clones can talk.
Her clones are their own
Back on
thing.
Remnant. But we all remember how that ended.
Is that seriously what this is all about? You still blame me for what happened at Torchwick? You're looking for an apology? You've wasted your time.
They say everyone thinks they're the hero of their own story. But I knew what I was. Deep down, I think you know what you are too.
The leaves from the tree?
Oh, you're familiar. How about a little reset?
Is that what you want? Well, if you want me dead, then come get me.
You don't deserve to die, Red. You deserve to be broken down, torn apart, wiped from existence.
Oh!
I'm going to enjoy watching you break.
And she's talking through them.
Ruby!
Ruby? Damn it. How could she just run off like that? She was clearly upset. That wasn't upset. That was... Ugh! She could have just talked to us. Maybe she didn't feel like she could. Ruby has always been the one to get us through the hard times. We say things like, we believe in you. We can count on you. I know we mean well, but it's not like we were asking her to be perfect.
Who you to think you knew was best for Atlas?
I was the best and brightest Beacon had to offer. But I traded my life so that my friends could live.
Oh, she's down.
Just like you were too late to save me at the Vital Festival. I died in Atlas, too, didn't I? Can you imagine what that's like? To be completely and utterly failed, time and again, by someone who meant the world to you.
You ready for that drink yet?
How many more people are going to die because of you? I'm trying to save everyone.
And yet with all your best intentions, have you ever stopped to wonder if you've done more harm than good?
It's not my
How many more lives do you have to ruin before you realize you're not cut out to save anyone? Ruby. watch more of your friends fall?
Please stop.
Or are you ready to admit the truth? That the world would just be better off without you?
Who's that?
It's all right, Ruby. It's over now.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be me anymore.
It's okay, little huntress. I can be you instead. I have been trying to wear you down for so long.
What are you doing?
My purpose. When a poor little heart is broken, I can fill it with mine. I'm afraid I haven't been entirely honest with you, Ruby.
No!
I'm not like the other afterins here. I'm cursed with curiosity. I need to know everything, but more than anything, I need to know why my makers left me here, only to leave and make all of now.
You're not a friend! Friends don't
Oh no. Oh.
I think it's about time we all got what we deserve. Are you ready to admit the truth? That the world would just be better off without you? You've finally done it! Little Red's gone. With your semblance stronger than ever now, we could take over this whole absurd place! Why not? Offing Little Red can't be all you wanted. Right?
No! I needed her!
Take us to her.
You still don't get it, do you? It's not a place you go. It's a place you know. But no matter. I've actually found a much better solution to my problem. Something most important, haven't you? And now you have nothing left.
Yep. Yes.
How delightful.
Empty. She doesn't know what to do.
An empty host. Perfect for me to fill.
Oh.
rusted knives. Goodness, am I tired of your little sob story. You can't even accept your own futility.
Okay.
This body will do.
This is terrible. That's actually. Oh.
Her semblance mixed with.
I was gonna say.
powers
Okay,
of the
wow.
cat. Oh, that's what the episode is. Dang it.
That was. Oh.
Golly.
Damn it, Akechi. We should never can't trust. I'm gonna be scared of Dorian now from Jeez. How dare you make the cat bad? Okay.
Let's see, we got to see Pyrrha.
We got to see Pyrrha, we got to see Ozpin, we got to see...
Yep. We got to see them in the new animation style.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen them... We've seen, I think, like, hints of them before, but we've never, like, officially seen them animated.
Also, I like that, just to point this out, all the complaints I've seen about RWBY from people who, like, complain about the show were basically addressed throughout this entire volume, especially with RWBY's character in this episode, with it being like, causes more harm than good. It's like, the entire point of this volume is like addressing that almost.
Well, this was more or less like feeding the doubts that RWBY already has about herself. And it's more just beating down like what you believe is wrong with you in a way.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean it's true, but
RWBY is angry at herself, right?
And what's weird is that it's kind of interesting how Neo is, how she's using like all of this to break RWBY. And yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I don't know how much of in control of her clones she is, but it's part of me. I feel like she can imprint her clones.
Oh, I'm calling now. Neo doesn't survive this volume.
I unfortunately don't think she's going to either, but I hope
Wabbajack is going to destroy the cat.
Maybe.
I'm also okay. I think one of two things. I would
Wabbajack.
Jabberwock.
Jabberwock.
Okay. Skyrim. It happens. Moving on. The Wabbajack. Oh no! Wait, we just had the Wabbajack. You know, don't want to be yourself, become something new. Wabbajack. you want to fight a dragon? No, I want to fight a street roll. Anyway, the Jabberwocker is gonna be the other. There was Alex and Lewis. Alex and Lewis. Alex became Neo. Lewis became the Jabberwock. And now the Jabberwock is going to destroy Alex and the cat. Or potentially destroy the cat and not actually, and let Neo live.
We still don't know about the whole Alex. The whole Alex story is still kind of a mystery right now. Hopefully that gets revealed.
I feel like
soon.
it's the... Well, one, Alex, I believe, is Neo because I believe when she was handing that cup to RWBY, it doesn't turn you into someone else. It takes you to the tree. And the tree can turn you into something else. Mm-hmm. Can change your reality. And then Alex becomes... I don't know exactly how the story gets written down at a different point.
But that's what I'm thinking. It's like maybe...
But also, I think something happened. I feel like the Jabberwocker is connected to all this as well. Also, when the cat said its master left, I'm assuming that has to do with the gods.
I think the gods. I think maybe the cat is like created by the gods or something. The tree and all that. But that is so weird. Like, and yeah, the cat being the villain of this. Like, it's not the tree, it's the cat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the tree probably still does its own thing, but
the tree has its purpose and its existence, but the cat
has a more malicious
cat's curious
attitude.
I do like that the cat kind of explained
And little
its own problem with it being ever curious, and essentially it can never not be curious and has become a curse, which is a very interesting
and it's going to kill the cat.
point. And it's going to curiosity kill the cat. But yeah, I do believe the Jabberwock is either A, going to kill the cat, Neo lives, and we get a new version of Neo.
Maybe.
She's not a hero, she's not a villain, but now she gets her own story arc of her figuring out what life is without this. Like, she's had these single-minded focuses, and now she's completed them, and she doesn't know what to do.
Well, she's
empty.
Yeah, she's completed her goal. That
She's like,
she
I did it. But now, I destroyed Ruby. I completely destroyed her personality, her character, her heart, everything. I don't feel fulfilled.
Now what happens to Ruby? Because Ruby committed to basically ending herself, and we have no idea where that takes her. It's
So what I'm guessing is the cat is trying to
escape.
to
It's trying to
remnant.
escape. That was its goal before. It was trying to escape, and it couldn't. It was tricked by Alex.
Here's the thing. I feel like Alex becoming Neo has to do with the cat trying to take over Alex, and you know how I talked about how the cat's abilities look similar
Yeah, the cat
to
has
Neo's semblance?
It's almost like the cat and Neo have a similar semblance right now, like combined already.
So it's like, what if the cat took over Alex, but the cat can never leave, and then when Alex left, that kind of part of it went with them.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I don't know. We don't know that.
We
part,
don't.
But it's just visual stuff.
But what? Now it's like this was brutal. Like, this was different kind of. It's like it's hearing like all of the past characters that cared about, like hearing Penny, hearing Pyrrha, hearing Ozpin, hearing Ironwood, hearing all of these people who have died trying to protect and trying to help, and Ruby failed to help in a way.
I mean, she watched Pyrrha die.
She watched Pyrrha die. Ozpin died, Ironwood died, Penny died twice. Like, these people have died, and now they're basically like hitting Ruby while she's down and pointing out, like, just basically pointing out all her flaws, and she's hitting the point where she just doesn't want to be her anymore. She wants to, and yeah, Little got killed. Little's dead, I think. It's like, what?
No, Little just became their new purpose. They became really, really, really little. Paper thin little.
I don't know. I don't really like this. The cat being the villain was not the thing I was expecting. I expected to see the cat again, but it's like not like this. The cat is a straight up, like, it's one of those things where it's like, maybe the Jabberwocker's not a bad thing anymore. The cat was because remember we talked about, like, the cat influencing people before. Now it's like,
I'll give you a piece of mind.
so the cat, like,
Let me go horror movie and just and possess you.
Oh man, I'm too stunned to even think about this, because
You know, this is terrifying, because if it has Neo's semblance, then it can create copies of itself to possess other people
it could
to
do
gain
that.
knowledge.
It's one of those things where it's like, it can also, like, can you even kill it?
Yeah,
You
Jabberwocker.
No, I mean, like, can you even fight Neo? Because basically she can particle herself. Like, she's her semblance and the cat's powers, which, you know, the cat has the ability. Which I'm curious. That's the thing. Is, like, if the Jabberwocker can take down the cat, like, is the Jabberwocker stronger? Is the cat stronger?
Wait,
Whose powers are more powerful? The Jabberwocker's more of a monster, where the cat is more of a a being.
Actually, here's a good question. Does what was the storm called again? The
Punderstorm.
The Punderstorm. Is it powerful enough to separate Neo and the cat? Is this going to be where RWBY and Neo enter, like the Punderstorm happens, RWBY and Neo appear there, and maybe Neo looks like Alex if Neo is actually Alex. But it's also Neo doesn't know what to do. RWBY doesn't know what to do. The cat is trying to take over, and that's how the cat gets separated from Neo for a temporary time.
I do hope, like, because Neo was brutal this episode. Neo was like evil.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is one of those things where like this was cruelty, and I don't.
She's literally asking someone to basically drink a form of poison yet, and she's beating them until they do.
But she's doing it like she's not just doing like physical damage. She's doing psychological damage with the dead faces.
So for the most part, I've been of the mind throughout this volume that this could be Neo's last volume. I've been like, okay, if we get this volume, we get this whole interaction with Neo. Neo finally gets taken out at the end, or maybe stays here, never gets to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I would see that as an interesting end. Now I don't want that to happen because it's one of those moments where a character has now undergone something where they have no future,
has a change, and has a potential future.
Usually it's like when a character has nothing left they can do in the story, that's a good time to remove them. But the fact that Neo almost recognizes that she has nothing left to do makes it more interesting in my mind to keep her around.
Yeah.
And have that as a character development So I feel like she needs to stay and the cat needs to be defeated.
But now that the cat's like inside Neo,
oh my gosh.
I don't think
RWBY has to go back to being her positive. We can do this self. Not for her allies. For Neo.
What is going to happen? That is the thing. Like, both Neo and RWBY have been completely undone. So what happens to them? Where do we go from here?
They must choose their own
What do
future.
Jean, Weiss, Blake, and Yang do? Like, what can they even do? Like, this is one of those things where we have no idea. We have to wait till the next episode to figure out what the heck even is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. But I am very interested because, like, this whole volume has been interesting
twists and turns
of characters. Like, it's been a deconstructing characters and events that have happened, and giving the characters, I want to say, downtime to just experience it.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten a volume to just explore the consequences of what's happened and have the characters feel that, and just let the characters feel,
and to give them more or less like a resurgence of who they are and what they want to be, and
what is their purpose.
Yeah, what are they going to do after this?
Again, if Neo survives, it's actually going to be because RWBY influences her in a more positive way, and by doing that, by giving Neo purpose again, the cat can't take Neo over. Like, if the cat gets separated from Neo and then finds Neo again, it goes and tries to take her over again, but she pushes back.
Yeah, maybe the cat can't.
Because maybe like it's one of those things, like, you don't have to be my friend. You gotta pick yourself. You gotta choose what your life is for.
Repossess the body and separate the cat.
Honestly,
the cat can't.
This just might be going a little bit further than that. RWBY's whole thing on this is she's trying to save everyone, but she doesn't feel like she's the person that can. We also know that the god's coming back. If people are not at peace with each other, then they will basically destroy Remnant.
Mm-hmm.
So RWBY in this volume has to potentially make that choice to save a villain, to save someone who has absolutely brutalized her this volume.
To forgive and to help somebody. Her enemy.
Her arch nemesis, or someone who has made themselves her arch nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
To go with that mindset, to be able to save the rest of the world against, like, Salem and whatnot, who wants the world to divide, who wants the world to hate each other, who wants people like RWBY to break. And RWBY at this volume has to choose not to break.
She has to let go of her hate-driven.
Go and help Neo and basically tell Neo, I know you hate me, I know you want me dead, I know you want me destroyed, but I want better for you. And that might be the thing where it's like, this is how RWBY gets back to what she is. It's not because she doesn't acknowledge the things that have happened or she doesn't feel the failure she has, but then she's still going to push past that to save the world. And I think that could be a very interesting end, but we don't know. It's two episodes?
Yep.
2 episodes, I gotta know.
One, yep, 2 more episodes, and boy, we're setting ourselves up for a really interesting finale. But we are so getting out of here this volume, right? We are not staying here any longer.
I'm gonna say that the first half is gonna end with the Punderstorm potentially hitting.
I think, we're going to have the Punderstorm, and then we're going to end with the Punderstorm battle, and take out both the cat and the Jabberwocker. Maybe the Jabberwocker and the cat take out themselves. Like, we get rid of both at once, and in a way, maybe save the Ever After from the cat's influence and the Jabberwocker's end of life. Like the Jabberwocker's the Reaper, and the cat is the devil. So this is more or less like bringing back the world's cycle to normal. No influence of any kind. I feel like that's a weird analogy, but it's all I can see. The cat is now like this big influencer. Looking back, the cat is. I'm just so like mad at the cat now. It's one of those things where, like, remember when John was mad at the cat? It was like, oh, calm down.
I just realized we had the Mad Hatter Tea Party.
Yeah, we did. We had the Mad Hatter. Neo's been the Mad Hatter the whole time, and.
But
it was really good. It was. You know what's funny? You know what's actually okay. So it's interesting that during the last week, I was actually after RWBY's outburst, I was rewatching the episode. Well, not really the episode, but I was rewatching the fight that RWBY was having with Torchwick and Neo in the end. What basically started this whole catalyst of Neo and RWBY.
Back in Volume 3.
Back in Volume 3, yeah. And it's like hearing Roman going about how it's like, this world is cold. This world doesn't have spirits. You want to be a hero, then go and die like every other huntsman in history. And it's like
that is basically a higher version of that happened here too.
Yeah, those words came back at her again. This time with new perspective.
And this time she isn't just I'm fighting a hero. She's broken and it breaks her. So
yep, and it's like that's like Torchwick now has backup with all the dead people behind.
Again, I think the part that I really like about this volume is it's not just going to be RWBY gets broken and changes. It's RWBY gets broken and then stands back up. I want to see her stand back up and go back for that. Not as ignorant as she was, but as determined as ever.
I am curious, if it's like how. Will we see what the tree does?
Wait a second. What if we bring Salem here and have the tree change her? That would be... What if the Ever After becomes our, was it...
Final battle?
It's not Deus Ex Machina, but it's like our...
I was actually wondering, could we trap Salem in the Ever After? Get her off Remnant and trap her in the Ever After.
That'd be interesting. But it is one of those things where it's like, I feel like either A, the Ever After is never going to come back up, in terms of visual and physically going there, or it's going to be a turning point later.
I do feel like it's one of those things where I feel like this is a weird place. We're going to get something about this. This is going to help us in the future.
Her and Ozamar decide to, go and be like, we want to be remade, reformed again, and Oscar is freed from Ozamar. Salem is no longer immortal. No longer immortal and cursed as she is, and we don't know who they become, but they disappear, and that's the end of their story.
That is weird. What? It's more now what's the purpose of the Ever After? What could it, besides what it's doing to our characters and the thing, the knowledge that this world exists, what could we do with that now? We don't have the Staff of Creation, so I don't think we can even do anything with that until we get it back, which I don't even know if that's possible with Salem. I feel like Salem's going to hold on to every relic until the end of the show. So I feel like she's going to get all the relics before we ever get them back.
Oh my goodness. She gets all the relics. She puts them together, and Ruby's final act to save everyone, she transports them all to the Ever After, and Remnant gets destroyed, but everyone lives in the Ever After in the fairy tale land. I don't know why, but now I'm thinking of...
That would, you know what that would mean?
What?
Happily Ever After.
Happily Ever. But there's also, I just realized, it makes me think of like, spoilers for a book series up ahead, Ink Spell, Ink Death or whatnot, where they go and they live in the fairy tale world. At the end.
Yeah, it could be like that. That would be weird. I mean, that would be sad, blowing up Remnant, but that would be interesting of a way of saving everybody and getting them out of the gods' like path or something. I don't know. It would be weird, but yeah, it'd be interesting. It's like basically these girls that came from fairy tales end the show in the fairy tale land. I don't know. That would be weird, but God, okay. I need next episode. I actually this is the first time where I don't want to wait for the next episode. Because I'm going to be just sitting here in this trauma, waiting for this, because it's not like last episode where it's like, okay, I need time to cool down. No, this episode, I need to know what happens next, because that was a lot. We've never seen this much, brutalness in RWBY fights before.
And injuries, usually
bruises and
get injured, but
bruises and blood. We've never seen this much before. It's like this really emphasized how bad it got. It was all right. Yeah, that's all I have to say. So
you have to wait till next week.
Yep. And this one hurts to wait for next week. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Take care, and we'll see you there in the next episode. Bye-bye.